That's right. Part two, hour two, 8 o'clock, right here on V94.9 WATV. It's me, Lady Wu. I got my guys in studio tonight. Very, very awesome first part of the show. Hopefully, you guys got some great information. We did. Continued conversation in studio off air with Ready Eddie and Jermaine. Welcome back, Jermaine.
What up? What up? Woo?
So, everybody, um, Thanksgiving was Thursday, and everybody had different experiences, and I've seen different posts and all of that, but it was different for all of us because of COVID 2020. COVID has made everything different, but we tried our best here to prepare you for what was coming. So how did it turn out? How was it for you, Eddie?
I had a Friendsgiving. I canceled my actual Thanksgiving plan because I didn't want to fly, which I was going to fly to North Carolina to be with my granddad, my grandma, and my dad.
Hmm.
And I did not want to expose them to any risk with the numbers going up.
I
So I
know.
decided to stay back, have a Friendsgiving, invited people over to come pick up plates. They picked up to go plates and then headed out. And that's what Thanksgiving looked like to me, trying to social distance, but try to also offer some people some grub if they wanted something to eat.
I was excited when I saw your menu, but I didn't make it because I didn't. But what did you cook?
Oh man, macaroni and cheese, collard greens, dressing, a broccoli casserole, deviled eggs. I bought a smoked turkey and a smoked pork butt,
Hmm.
and
Did you bake?
I baked a pecan pie and a sweet potato pie.
Okay, so yeah, you snapped. Okay. Yeah, man. So Friendsgiving. Are we more comfortable with our friends as opposed to our families? With like, what's that?
I guess every man for himself with your friends.
It's like you better
Like,
protect
What does
yourself.
that mean?
I'm gonna protect my family with my family, but you gotta protect you
right. So
with
they,
yourself.
all right. So you gonna kick it
Wow.
with your friends, and everybody go quarantine.
Okay. Because I was thinking about that. Like, we most of us were okay with like going with our friends for a minute with just a couple of them, but not okay with going with our family. And I know for me, I don't, like at first, COVID has been. Y'all know this has been going on almost a year.
Yeah, almost.
It will be a year in just a minute. And so when it first started, we were all separate. But then, like about 3-4 months in, like okay, I'm gonna ease over here and see y'all. So like I was going to my parents' house, but I wouldn't go to my grandma's house and I wouldn't go to my aunt's house because they're older than my parents. But then, like, I started seeing the stats, and I was like, oh, okay, so older black men. Let me not go over my mama. Like, let me not go over there. And it's really it's difficult. And then I don't really like to talk on the phone. So like, if I'm not in your face, we're gonna be texting, and it feels so funny to not be able to just pop up. What like
You know,
what?
a common question that popped up, not a common question, but it popped up twice with people that came over was how was your COVID? Because they had COVID like months ago. And I was like, how was your COVID? Because I had not
How was
talked
your
to them
COVID?
about it. And they just talked about what their symptoms were and thing. Like this is a common dialogue now. Like people who've
Hey, girl,
had
how was your
COVID,
COVID?
yeah, it's like, how was your because everybody's is different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for real.
that's the
You know,
white
one of
part.
my friends got tested because her baby tested for it.
So she had no
Yeah,
symptoms.
tested positive for it. Yeah, and so it's like all of the different ways people can get it, all of the different ways people experience it. It's just wild to me.
Yeah, Jermaine. So like the last time we saw you was like the week before you had it, and
Right.
that's the last time we saw you. And
Yeah,
then like in
facts.
between it, like your whole life changed. So how was your COVID? Do you like you had it? That's been a while ago, right?
Yeah, I had it in July.
In the summertime too. That's when everybody
Yeah,
was still kind of like
yeah,
turning
yeah. Kind of
like it.
scared of. Like it's like everybody's really scared then. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody kind of like slack back now, but like it was real scary then because it was very it was very few people that you knew had it. So that's kind of one of the reasons why
Right.
I came out with it. Like I got COVID, so don't be out here playing with it. But for me, it was terrible.
Like what?
Um,
And that's back if you would have coughed in Walmart, you about to
What?
get
yeah, facts,
stumped
facts,
on back
facts,
then.
facts. Like my breathing was terrible. I growing up, I had asthma pretty bad,
Mm-hmm.
so I was kind of scared of getting COVID in the first place. But once I got it, man, it was like I was telling like one of my partners that had it too. I was like, man, like a couple nights I thought I was gonna die. Like I
Really?
was really to the point where like this was it. Yeah, for real.
Any other symptoms?
I had all the symptoms. I had everything that you could have with COVID. I had all the textbook symptoms. I had no taste, the no smell. I had the body aches. I had the fever for like a week and a half.
Dang.
I had the breathing. My breathing was messed up. Um, I had everything. Like like during that time, we started figuring out that like when you have COVID, you have like a increased sensation of salt. So my salt, everything tastes real salty. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, like pretty much everything, bro. Like everything that you could get with COVID, I had it.
Dang.
And
So
like even like a month, about 3 weeks after I got COVID free, quote unquote, I still felt bad. I didn't feel like myself. So it took me a few weeks after I got COVID to even get back to being myself again.
so yeah, that now all the symptoms I could not relate to. I still could smell, I could
Right,
still taste. I have asthma too. And that was my fear. Like, man, if I get COVID, I might die. Let me stay out the way. So that was
yeah,
my first thought. Like when I was just hearing, like, oh, okay, we gonna stay out the way. But then, like, so you said July. For me, September 23rd. Like
right,
it was some months later. I'm like, okay, we've been beating it. We good. Then September hits, and my first symptom was my legs felt like they were about to fall off.
right,
Oh my goodness. I said, now I don't know how to describe this. I couldn't explain how bad my legs were hurting. Like I could have been crying. I didn't cry, but I could have. Like, should I get on the heating pad? It was like one of those in your bone pains.
right.
Bruh. Oh my goodness. So that was the first thing. Then the headache. So like I would lean forward
Yeah,
and I felt like I don't know what I felt like with that. I couldn't explain that because I don't have headaches a lot.
right.
So like that was different. And then
The
other than
weird thing for me was like the first couple of days, like my eye sockets hurt. Like I couldn't
yes,
look
the
like
pressure.
yeah, it's kind of weird.
That happened. So that did happen to me. So it was those two symptoms, and then once I tested negative, that's when I started having the breathing issues. I was
Oh
short
really?
of breath. Yeah.
Uh,
So and fatigue.
okay.
Let me take a nap
Yeah,
all day.
yeah, I was too.
So that's what it was. Like that would have been my COVID story, and it was totally different from his.
That's the crazy part about like everybody getting a different story. Like some people dying, some people like, man, I didn't even know I had COVID.
Right.
She's like,
And
man,
that's
like
the real crazy part. So that's why. So at this point, are we more comfortable? Like, is COVID here and we're okay with it
yeah,
now?
sure,
Like,
I think so.
really?
I think so. Cause I had to go to Chicago for my grandfather's funeral, and I was like, man, if I get back this time, like you ain't gotta worry about me no more. I'm finna like sit down, cause I was like super spooked though.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody has that same sensation. Like when they go out, some people like chill, like they don't even care. Like some people be like been kicking it like super
Sir.
hard, like all the way through COVID.
Yeah, like then not even wearing masks. So if I walk somewhere and I'm gonna have mine on, especially in public. Like if I'm around the house, of course I'm around the house, no, but like um I made a mistake and got out of my truck, walking to Dollar General, and my daughter did too. Like both of us just jumped out the truck, walked to the door, and she was like, "Mom," like, oh snap! So we stopped, and I don't know what the contemplation was. I don't know if it should we go back to the. I don't know what we were thinking, but I just asked her like, "You got masks?" And she had masks ready to hand
Right,
out.
right, right.
You go in other areas, other sides of town, around other people, and you might see people casually shopping with no mask
Yeah,
on.
fact. Fact.
Why are you not? I thought it was an ordinance. So like, why you letting them shop? Because we don't want confrontation.
Nah, at all whatsoever.
So where are we with that? Like I know we're talking about COVID, but we're talking about the holidays, which go hand in hand because now y'all trying to shop. You in the malls.
I think it's kind of like to the point now, like it kind of is what it is. Like we gotta kind of learn how to deal with it.
What?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Like, man, this is gonna be life now. Like, we gotta deal with it until we get a vaccine or
But then y'all don't want to take the
yeah,
vaccine. So like,
facts.
what difference does it make?
So like that's what I'm saying. Like this life, like we want to deal with it as it is. Like you just got to
Mm,
like
Well, everybody don't have to take the flu vaccine. I mean,
true.
maybe we can build up herd immunity where
Uh
the people
huh.
who take it protect the people who don't take it in that kind of way. Hopefully that end up being the case, but it looked like this might be something that's going to be around for the
yeah.
long ride. We're
I
just
mean,
going
for
to find ways
sure.
to manage it and prevent it in some instances and treat it in other instances. I
Hmm.
think that is. I just feel like it's disrespectful to me right now when I see a person in the store without a mask. And I saw a family the other day, a husband and wife and they 2 kids, and they didn't have on masks. And like at this point in how dangerous it still is, it feels
Yeah.
like they just taking a real stupid stand. You know,
And
like
then
one of
like
them
Trump
stand.
lost, so
Yeah,
like chill out, put your mask on.
yeah. Like Trump already lost. It's finna turn into a socialist country. Might as well
Right,
go on
just
ahead and let COVID take us out.
like, and it's almost like that. Like just before I got here, standing in the hallway, waiting on the elevator. and two families came down. They super packed in the elevator. Y'all want to get on? Do we look like we want to get on?
No.
And it's already 30. What? What? I'm burnt. Do I? So I'm just trying to. I want to just take a moment to think about the seriousness of COVID-19. So like it's been different waves of it too. Like Jermaine, if you had it in July, that wave may have been the wave where everybody was getting really sick.
Right.
Then by the time I got it in September, people are sick. Some people are really sick, but that many folk ain't dying.
Right.
But in the beginning, it seemed like everybody was dying. Like what the progression of it?
Well, right now, if you look at the scale of deaths, the deaths are going up right now. And the deaths were really high at the beginning because
Mm-hmm.
hospitals didn't know how to manage it. And
Mm-hmm.
those went down like at the end of the summer and all through up to now. But now so many cases are coming in that hospitals are just overwhelmed by staff and resources. And so the deaths are going up because the numbers are going up and it's just not enough people to handle
Right.
it at this point.
Have you all seen, like, if you pass by the urgent care spots and seen the parking lots and the lines? I have paid attention to the lines in the parking lots at several of the urgent care spots. And when I tell you, it's people sitting outside, parking lots packed. I'm like, dang. So is this where we're going to be? And what are you like? Are you going to get tested to be told to go in quarantine? Are you going to quarantine? What like?
But
Man,
it's kind of fun to have a conversation with people like that you haven't seen in a while, and like they never mentioned having COVID, but the COVID conversation come up, they be like, "Oh yeah, I had COVID." Like, well, you ain't told nobody you had COVID. Like,
cause man, so once again the stigma, so the stigma around it, and then the holidays. So a friend of mine, another friend of mine, and I were having a conversation about preparing for the holidays
right,
and not necessarily taking a risk to entertain, but we decided that we would just go ahead and do the norm. It's what the friend says. We'll go ahead and do the norm, and then who will come, and who won't, they won't, and we won't feel any kind of way about it.
right.
But then we went on into the conversation. And it was like, are people now just using COVID for an excuse
To
to
do it.
not do stuff?
I mean, it's a good excuse though.
I would think so. But like, yeah, you know what? COVID.
I don't use COVID now. I'm gonna tell you that.
You gonna use your COVID
Probably gonna
card?
use it again too. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. But
Anything extra COVID gonna stop you from doing it.
yeah,
Yeah, man, COVID. You know
something that Senator
what?
Jeffrey said on CNN, regarding the Senate races and whatnot. Um, he said that COVID is a once in a century pandemic and it
Hmm.
needs a once in a century response.
What does that
And
mean?
for me, what it means is that people are treating this like they treating it like it was just an accident. Like they treat it like a 9/11, like a building got crashed into, and
Okay.
all you got to do is rebuild it. Like this is something that's hurting people, and the idea like your freedom ends where another person's begins. Like you going around without masks and not taking this seriously and saying that we can't let the economy go down. We got to get back out there. We got to have the kids in school. This this way of thinking is a problem. Like we've lived such a privileged existence
Hmm.
to not have been through something of this magnitude that we can sit out here and say a bunch of us can sit out here and say, well, we're America. We do American things. This thing can't stop us from doing what we do.
Right.
Yes, it can.
Like it has
It
proven
can.
that it can.
Yeah, it can. And I always joke, even though it might not be appropriate. It's like,
Do it.
okay,
Gotta do it anyway.
just because this happens to be a um something that you can get and not have like symptoms from
Right.
Hmm.
and be fine with it. When the next thing come out where your eyeballs melt when you walk outside, I bet they're gonna stay inside. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't act like
Oh
that things
my.
can't be this bad and or get worse that we won't have to change our way of living to fix it. And that's just what's gonna happen when Biden come in. Biden's gonna come in and shut down the country the way the country probably should have been shut down
You think so?
before. Yes.
And a lot of people hope so, but it's
Yeah.
like now we've kicked it so hard, so long
Yeah.
that it's like, you gonna
Right.
do what? I'm gonna shut it back down. And y'all gonna work from home.
It's going back
Like
down.
this is what you do. You've been mastering working from home or not anyway. So like we got to do this to get it under
The
control,
facts.
to get the vaccines out to whoever the first people will be, and then we'll see what happens. So would you all be willing to get the COVID vaccination?
That's a thing right there. Like,
We've had it though.
but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm
I
trying.
you know, look.
Yeah, man. Look, I don't.
I
At
don't know,
some
bro.
point, I don't want to treat it. I want to treat the idea of vaccine as if something I don't want to get.
Yeah.
The problem, the stigma with the vaccine now is that it seems that Trump done pushed this through for political purposes. So it makes it seem like the scientists and the people that they dealing with, being a party that hadn't even been utilizing science, has pushed out a vaccine. I can't say that scientists,
Hmm.
would do something that would jeopardize the
Right.
country in that way. But like I really need to feel like the government is supporting what they're telling us we need. They weren't supporting COVID at the beginning. How can we have trust in them
Mm. What
having a cure or a vaccine for something that they wouldn't even acknowledge existed and still don't in some instances acknowledge it
when
exists?
you say the government, you mean who?
I mean the current administration
All right. So,
and how they run our system.
okay, so the current administration, who will be gone in a month, um, and okay, so like we're not that we don't know what these conversations are like. We know that the current president did not want the president elect to be a part of the conversations, the briefings. He did not want him. It was no transition conversation. So officials and others felt like President elect Biden was missing pertinent information.
Right.
So do you all think that in the time of this transition of information, or which should have been a transaction of information, that it was Trump trying to do some diabolical stuff?
I don't think necessarily that. I just think it was kind of like I lost like
Leave me alone.
yeah, get it how you live now.
I could see that. I be acting like that.
Yeah,
Figure it out. Take what
yeah.
you leave.
It's
Take
your,
what you need. Leave the rest. Bye.
it's your job now. Handle your business. So I don't know.
At the risk of the people.
I mean, it is what it is.
Mm,
Obviously he gonna be straight, so he ain't worried about nobody else for real. So
wow.
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, Trump been like this the whole time. He's been vindictive. He's been like it wouldn't surprise me if he was doing something to sabotage a a, a normal transition.
That is
It
so
just won't surprise me.
crazy.
I mean, we
Thoughts?
already in a situation now. I don't know with Iran and they top nuclear scientists that just got killed. Like
Mm,
he's supposed to now be deciding what we do about that. So is he gonna make it harder for Biden, or is he gonna do what's best for the American people? And right now, we know all this fraudulent election, mail ballot, all these lawsuits. That's not good for America. That's not good for democracy.
like, bruh.
Actually, is actually causing problems with the Senate race in Georgia because there's a group of GOP or a group of Republicans that are thinking about boycotting the election just to destroy the GOP because they keep asking these senators about what we gonna do about this fraud and fraudulent election, and they saying we gonna handle that after we win.
Like you,
So
but you lost. Get out. Like I've never seen such a ridiculous ending to a story. Like there is no part two. Okay, there is no second Chronicles, No, it's over. You go. Like I've never. This breakup has been just too dramatic. It has taken too long. We don't like you anymore. We want you to leave, and you're telling us what? Bye, sir.
no.
this is what
Bye
happens.
bye.
This is what happens when you don't think about the implications of the strategy that you implement. Because a lot of stuff that Trump do is for the moment, and so him bringing up all this fraud election stuff has turned into a big concern, which is not
Which is not
an
really a
actual
concern,
concern,
right?
but it's turned into a boogeyman for all of these people that now the people are trying to be voted in got to figure out how to appease them on stuff that wasn't even true.
This is nuts. All right, so your thoughts and comments. We'll give you about 4 minutes if you want to call in 994-8949, 994-8949 if you want to call your comment or your thoughts in about COVID, about the government, and COVID, about Trump and not leaving. Anything that we've talked about in the first half, even the holidays and your decision to gather or not with your family and friends. Like any thoughts that you have, the phone lines are open to you to be able to call in and join the conversation. So Christmas is coming and shopping is happening. People are out and about. Collection site. I mean, all people are really doing normal things in these very abnormal times. Are you all concerned about what Christmas will look like, or is it too early to say because we don't know what Thanksgiving has done yet?
Um, Thanksgiving numbers are already going up. Numbers are already going up
What's today?
fast.
Sunday, Friday,
Yeah,
Saturday, Sunday.
Numbers are already going up fast.
they probably know something this week.
Yeah, this it's gonna get worse. That should be all of our assumptions from this moment because these are the holiday times. This is we get together with people, and it's still a number of people that don't believe in this stuff. The
Mhm.
same people that come to Publix with you without a mask on just went and around all of their family, and they
That didn't
came
have
back to
mess
Publix
on.
and they finna touch the same apples that you trying to pick through.
Oh, that's why I don't eat fruit. That's why I eat processed fruit in a cup.
Like it's not enough people taking this serious to believe that those of us can be safe passively
Yeah.
without being active and doing something,
Yeah.
being assertive with how we protect ourselves.
So you can't basically you can't let your guard down between now and never, honestly.
Yeah, for real. Like,
Like vaccine or not, you
yeah,
can't let your guard down. Just like with the flu. You can't trust that your coworker who is just sneezing and coughing over in their cubicle or over in their bunk or wherever they are, have been responsible enough to not just say, "Oh, these are just my allergies. I'm just congested."
right, right.
You can't trust that.
I got sinus problem
And little stuff, little stuff.
Like your nose, you know your nose running right.
currently.
COVID. Yeah, my first assumption, you look a little puny in the COVID. You got chill bumps, COVID.
It's just like a bunch of tiny inconveniences. I feel like, and some of them may be a little bit bigger than tiny, because some of them are you can't get together with your family, but some of them are, I ain't getting on the elevator with them
Oh,
strangers.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm
y'all,
definitely
Like,
not.
yeah,
y'all
you
should
gotta
have
wait for
seen the
that elevator
elevator.
to go up and then hit the button and let it
Yeah,
come back down, and then you get
We
on.
waited twice because it was too fit. Like I said, well, this is crazy. And the person I was standing with, she was like, I've never seen it like this here. And they asked us, do we want to get on? First of all, where we gonna stand?
definitely don't want to get on with y'all.
Like, what are you doing? So they had on masks. They had kids with them, but it was just still strange. They thought that they thought enough of us to ask us to get on with them. We had masks on, but why why would we get on with you? Most elevators say 3 people at a time. It's 20 of y'all already on here, and it's small. It's not even big enough for y'all.
I'll pass.
Yeah, I'll take the stairs. Okay, so that's where we are on COVID and just thoughts and feelings about COVID and the holidays. Then New Year's is coming.
Right.
People like to get out, dressing out. We do these all black parties and
Sure.
all that. What y'all gonna make them virtual?
Nah,
I'm not coming to a virtual.
people finna
I'm
kick
not
it.
doing that.
People gonna kick it
I
for
don't want to do a
years.
virtual party. Okay.
Nah, not at all.
Where are we with being able to get COVID a second time? Like how many people out here who
Mm.
got COVID who have potentially a false sense of security because they got it, that they okay to be out here.
So that kind of was. I will admit that I had that false sense of security for a little while.
I
Like
got
for like
antibodies.
for like initially they were saying like 90
90
days.
days. Mm-hmm.
So I was like counting out like okay, like I'm good till like November. And then I've heard recently like 60 days. Well, nah, it's more than 90 days. It's
Mm.
like 4 to 6 months. So
But then I heard it was less than that because some people that didn't even make the 90 days were reinfected. Like the second time. Several people have had it twice now.
right,
So like I was asking my doctor about antibodies and that type thing. And because it's new, it's the
right.
novel coronavirus. They're learning this stuff as it goes. So
That's the crazy part. Like um after the 14 days, like the day before I was supposed to go to work, when I thought I was cured from corona, quote unquote cured. Like the next morning rather, like I had like a weird spell, and I had to go to the emergency room. So I was like, oh, like damn, like is that my really
you
better?
came back and got me.
Yeah, like it back on me. So I was like, man, like
What were the symptoms then?
so like I had got test positive. Well, I got tested negative like early on in that week.
Mm-hmm.
I supposed to went to work the next day, and like that night before I went to work, like I woke up, I went to the bathroom, and like when I went in the bathroom, I got up, like I couldn't catch, like I couldn't, my legs was like off kilt, like my legs was like
Mm.
shaking real bad. So I got back in the bed, I laid down, and like I got like chills, like super bad. Oh my god, like what's going on? Like when I got up, my body just started shaking real bad. I was like, what's going on? Like this, like I'm supposed to be straight. So I got up and I went to the emergency room because like I was
Like,
nowhere.
where
You
else
know
do
what
I
I'm saying?
go?
Yeah, like I don't know what's going on now. So when I got to the emergency room, the doctor's like pretty much like my O2 sat was good. My X-rays, my chest X-rays was good. My EKG was good. It's like he basically came in and said like bro, like
You still got COVID.
no, he's like
Oh.
we don't know like if you feel
Oh.
worse, just contact your primary doctor. But like we learn stuff new every day. Like we're finding out that people are still having like um
Th-
ailments or
Yeah, those
complications
lingering
like weeks
symptoms.
here after they have COVID. So like if you get worse, just go back to the doctor. So I'm like dang, like what was that? Like the spell, like I didn't even feel that bad like during COVID. So it was weird.
Hmm.
And think about like
Oh,
so you brought up that it's about to be a year,
yeah.
and think about if we comparing this to the flu, which is the only other thing we got that's similar. Flu season means
It's definitely not the flu though.
it's not the flu.
Oh no. No.
What I'm saying
Listen,
is what happens with the flu is that the flu mutates, which means the next season that we have to get different shots is because it's mutated to
right,
a
right,
way
right,
that our bodies can't tolerate it anymore.
Mm.
right.
And so if we're talking about year by year that the flu mutates at that pace, at what pace could COVID be mutating that it's a different
And we
version
see
of it
it.
that we deal
I
with?
think
Right.
we see it because we're hearing like each time. I'm just hearing like in the beginning, you looked at how people were being affected in the beginning. Then the next month, okay, so people still scared. We're still quarantined. How long are we in the house? Like, how long did that last? Maybe
Until the city open back up, I think. Like once the states and cities start opening back up, that's kind of when the scaredness kind of went away.
when was like I don't even remember when it was.
It's probably August, about September, like right before football season started.
So we were see we were supposed to be in place that long. Is that what y'all telling me?
Alabama was never shut down in the level that places like California was shut down.
Birmingham, I would say Birmingham was
Birmingham shut
I
down
thought it
for a
was.
little bit. It shut down for a little bit.
about 45 days. I say about 60 at the most. I would say I could be wrong, but I think we shut down for about 60 days, city
Hmm.
wise.
I need to go back and look at my diary. Um, that's crazy. So just thinking about like what the timeline was looking like. Like we thought, okay, COVID. People ran to Sam's. They got like one basket of stuff, thinking that okay, this would be like 3 weeks. We'll be good. Boom,
Right.
boom, boom, boom. We out of here. What was our mind? What were we even thinking? Like, how do you even think that this a whole virus and it's only gonna be around for 2 weeks and we'll be back to normal in 2 weeks?
Because we like you said, in our privilege as Americans, we never experienced this. Like we never experienced like can't do anything. So like for us to be like, you better tell me I'm not gonna be able to do what I want to in 6 months or in 3 weeks.
Now,
Like I don't believe that. So
Or you mean to tell me that I got to stop doing what I like doing for 3 months and then to get it in place?
to not die, yeah,
Yeah, like
you know.
how preposterous. That's preposterous to me.
how dare you, right?
Yeah, and
You
while
mean no
people,
football season during football season?
other countries were recovering, while people here were still saying that after those countries had shut down.
Yeah, completely shut down.
They completely shut down, got better, and people in America somehow believe that.
Oh, I just take
Why
a
did
cruise
I
over
don't
there
understand?
then.
I don't understand.
What? Yeah, I just go over there.
I guess countries right now that won't let Americans in.
American sounds stupid.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
why would they let us in?
General consensus: American sounds stupid. Hopefully you are not those Americans and you have done what is necessary to protect yourself and your loved ones, even during the holidays. Hopefully you won't get bad results from your gatherings and it is sad to say, but even your friendsgivings, it's been enough time for your symptoms to have set in and for you to have been tested. If you haven't, go ahead and get tested. If you had any concerns or if people
Yeah,
came
definitely.
in, you know what I'm saying, didn't pick plates up and you didn't walk them out to the curb, they came in your house touching stuff. We have
Yeah,
some,
you probably won't go and get tested tomorrow. if you throw
yeah, you might
if
want to
it
go
throw scratchy, if it's
feel
itching right now,
feel a little COVID right there. You
yeah,
might want to go ahead and handle that.
might
Or
need to
or
test.
even like any of the symptoms that we said, the fatigue, the heavy head, the heavy eye sockets, the painful legs, the
Shoulders hurting.
diarrhea,
Yeah, diarrhea.
new
Yeah.
rashes. What
Dang,
else did we hear?
I got a rash too.
Dang, bro, you got the first COVID.
Yeah,
You
I got
got
a
you
like.
got
I'm talking. I got
the
a like. I
COVID
got.
out the
Ground zero.
can.
Yeah, I got. I got the like the textbook COVID. Like if you get COVID, this gonna get this.
You had
They
rashes
put your
too.
name. I had a rash. I got a, like a random rash on my leg.
Dang.
I was like, what the heck is this,
So
bro?
did you get any prescriptions for any of your stuff?
I mean, you can't treat it. You can't treat nothing but the symptoms.
So did they give you some
Yeah,
ointment or some
oh yeah, but I got
tablets or
that. That
something?
was like after I got COVID free. I went to doctor for that.
I wanted some medicine. I just feel awkward knowing I got this virus and y'all just telling me, well, yeah, go
No, they
home.
just treat the symptoms like
Go
that. That's
home.
crazy.
Give me some medicine,
But
please. Thank you.
I had to get that albuterol treatment though.
Okay.
I had to get a halo because my breathing was that bad. It's
Dang.
crazy, man. I feel like something's in my chest. Like bro, like I'm telling you, like yeah, I don't want that COVID. Like if you ain't had it, like I low key thought I had it recently, and I was so scared.
I'm glad that you
Mm.
didn't while you
I know,
sitting up in
right?
here without your mask on.
I'm
Um
free, COVID free.
eyes free. So we want y'all to stay free. And everything that we can do to and then to not so the other part that I want to address before we move on is to not get in our feelings about And I mean, it's quite natural. We're human, and we are for companionship and company and socializing. So we'll talk about that in a moment. I see somebody calling. Let me see what's popping. You're in Vital on B94.9.
Yes, how you
Hey,
doing?
oh hey, how you doing?
I was in the grocery store this past month or two,
Uh huh.
and I went up to this guy that didn't have a mask on. I said, "I got an extra mask. Do you would you like to have the extra mask I have?"
Uh huh.
He looked at me like he could shoot lasers out of his eye.
Look
I'd
at
like to know what should I do in a situation like this? Should I have done that or not?
keep listening. Let's chat about that. Thank you so much. Hey, I got you a mask. Cause you walking around here with no mask
No,
on.
that ain't my fight though.
You're not gonna do that.
I'm just stay away
At
from it.
this point, I think people are so taking such an aggressive stand that I think they are more likely to address it with aggression than they are with like generosity of like accepting that you this is a kind gesture that somebody is trying to do for you. You know, but you putting yourself at risk getting close enough to hand a person like that a mask anyway.
Oh,
So
yeah, yeah.
I walk on the other side of the aisle from I turn my back to them if they're walking by me.
And just hold a
Yeah.
mask up.
Look, when they walking by, I'll just as my back gonna be towards their mouth. I'm just gonna be spinning around until till they out of my 6 feet
So
radius.
he shouldn't have offered the mask.
Shouldn't
He,
offer the mask.
he sound like older gentlemen. You know, they kind of want to do it. They kind of want to be.
I'm like that too. Hey, sweetheart, got these masks over here and this hand sanitizer, but will I say something? So I'm thinking about like the confrontational part and me not wanting to have to
That's purely
be on
confrontation.
right be on the news because I tried to help somebody with a mask.
And I guess that's like for me, I view it completely different. And I guess that's the political part of me. Like I look at it as I don't look at it as a person. Oh, they must have forgot their
Now
mask.
you
Let me
know they
go
don't
get
want to
him a
wear that
mask.
mask, right?
You know, I look at it like they mad. They mad about America right now,
And you black.
and they want to do what they want to do, and they gonna do it despite my health, despite anybody else's health around here. They gonna do it, and I just feel like it's a risk going up to a person like that, because that's how I perceive it.
I
At this point, you know you're supposed to have a mask on.
yeah,
You know it's on the front of
you
every
know
door.
better.
Even if the store ain't gonna do nothing about it, you know you're supposed to have a mask on.
So
So
that's the
somebody don't
that's
have a
So
the
mask
that's the
so
on,
other
they
part.
don't
so
even
so
deserve your
even
mask.
so even with that though, like I kind of had that little spell one time to myself. Like okay, so I think I was in Lowe's and I didn't have a mask. So, something
And
happened.
you went on in.
Yeah, I had to get what I had to get.
Did you do
So
this?
that's funny. See, I see the dude in the hood, so he had his shirt
Yeah,
up in the
like
mouth.
let me.
Like, bro, they ain't gonna do it right now.
They said
But
fabric.
she's like, I can't help you because you don't have a mask.
Okay,
I got real privilege. I'm like, what you mean you can't help me because I ain't got no mask?
bro, read the sign.
And the sign don't say that. Tell us something. Like, come on, like, can I get checked out so I can go?
And you standing up here talking.
Yeah, like, I'm mad though.
Oh yeah, I would have stepped back.
I'm
First
mad.
of all, you
I'm mad.
talking with no mask on to me, and you
I'm
saw the
mad.
door.
But I'm mad though. Let me
Management, could
get.
you come to the front?
Please let me get. Can I see your manager, please, right now?
But you knew you didn't. You knew you didn't have a mask on. So
That,
what was it? Just
that ain't a real though. I need to
And
get checked out.
look,
Get up out of
if I had my mask
man, I
on,
can't believe.
if I had my mask on, I don't get paid enough for that confrontation. I would have, I'll call the manager, or I would have let that man get his stuff and go.
So you would have checked him out.
Yes,
It depends on what day it is for me. Sorry, not look, sir.
because now we finna have a confrontation. Now the manager finna come over here. Now
I,
your breath finna be coming at me longer than it would have to if I just let you go.
you would have on a mask though.
Yes,
Okay.
I would be
But it was a
protected.
mistake.
Okay.
It was a mistake. I didn't have a mask.
But you still got mad.
Yeah, I was mad.
I get it. Like, girl, you know I got a mask in the car. Come on.
Let me get this stuff together out of here, man.
So like I said, we got out of the store and went to the door. I was thinking like, like, do I want to go back to the car? So it was that dilemma. So then I'm thinking, well, most stores do have masks to give people.
Right.
Can I get a mask? And she did. Cool. That was that. That was it.
But they also not stopping these people that got their masks just hanging off their nose. Like I'm walking around the store and everybody like I can see they like this ain't helping you.
We're like, I don't care. I have the mask on.
Yeah.
I'm doing my
Like,
part.
technically, I'm doing what's right. Like the people who cut a hole in their mask and be like, I got on a mask. Like,
So I did get
chill out.
one made with a straw hole, just so
Oh, that's
that
right. So you got
you
your,
know,
yeah, your dope beverages.
I mean,
So you say you be out with COVID having drinks with your
that's
mask on.
not what I said.
That what you saying? That what you indirectly is what you saying.
What I said is, if I do decide to go
Okay.
out, even
You got an option, right?
right, and then they have to keep taking the mask on and off. Like I can just put the metal straw in
Boom. Yeah.
and just, hey, we here, we good.
Yeah, I got you. I
Okay.
feel you.
All right.
Good idea. You should sell those.
they were hard. So the person that made them, she was like, "Girl, this is kind of hard to make." So I'll talk about that maybe in a live this week. Um, the social responsibility of COVID-19. So that's what this conversation is. Awesome conversation, I think, guys. Like just to think about it from a realistic standpoint. You have some people who just say, "Look, I'm not playing with y'all because this sounds like y'all be out here playing. I'm not going nowhere unless I just have to go. And when I go, I'm gonna sit in the car and Walmart is gonna put my groceries in my trunk. Whatever restaurant I like is gonna bring my stuff to the curb. I can go through the drive-thru for my prescriptions. The only thing I have to do is get out and pump my gas.
Like you really don't have to. You right. You really don't have to go nowhere for real. For
Not
real.
you don't have to interact like that.
For real, for real.
Who does anybody pump gas anywhere now?
What you talking about?
Like when you used to pull up and be
Like a
like,
tenant pumping tenant.
yeah,
Nah,
that
that
might
guy.
be something to bring back. Like just one person is touching this pump. We getting caught.
He probably ain't gonna get paid enough for that. Like I ain't finna pump no gas for like no,
It's about to be
for like
cold too.
$10.
Oh, just an idea.
Nah.
Okay.
Pass on that one.
Yeah, just a quick idea. So let's talk about the mental, emotional part of COVID-19 and the holidays. So this is our out of the holiday show where the season is officially started. People are putting up decorations. Um, we're playing Christmas songs here. All like we kicked them off like last Monday before Thanksgiving even got here. And to just kind of raise the spirit and bring that spirit back. And the weather is about to match it. What do you all like emotionally for you? How has this been? We just did Thanksgiving. How was it for you? Considering the norm, like what we would normally do.
I mean, my holidays for us is pretty chill anyway. So, but I mean, I saw my folks, so I wasn't really tripping.
Okay.
So it's cool for
Did you
me.
see all your folk at the same time, or just like
I mean, like in the spill, like I said, I had just went to Chicago the week before,
okay,
and I came home and I saw my parents. So I mean, I was straight on that
okay?
tip. So
So not a big, not it
no,
wasn't
no, I
like
wasn't nothing like that.
okay.
I got a high and by family,
Hmm.
so it's like us not seeing each other physically ain't no really big deal to any of my family for real. We good with a phone call, a video call, so it hasn't really been that bad emotionally. More than anything, I think I've been adopting some of the stress of my clients and their
Mm.
emotional, circumstances
Yeah.
from COVID and how their lives have had to change. So to be able to look at my life and see that, I'm already a lone wolf, I'm better by myself. I got a job where I can do this from
Yeah.
a place. My family ain't the kind of family that we need that kind of contact. And to be hearing a whole bunch of other people struggling to the level they struggling, like I'm end up adopting like if diffusing
That's super
other people's
empathy.
experiences. So
I feel that.
I'm understanding experiences from a lot of different perspectives, and
Yeah.
it's just a hard time for people,
It really is.
even if you ain't struggling.
And so I intentionally try to purpose every day and like be just super mindful, not just mindful of the day, but mindful of like every minute of the day. Like, okay, so just to keep me right, keep my energy right, keep my spirit right. I try to eliminate any negative factors and stuff like that. But then, like Eddie, what you're saying, like having to do the work that we do and just watching social media, honestly, like I could not meet any clients and just be on Facebook and I see somebody lost a mama, somebody lost a daddy,
Right.
somebody's not from the city and nobody's here. They don't want to do a Zoom call. They're already dealing with mental health issues or emotional issues that keep them isolated, not in a healthy way, not where identify as a loner or as somebody who's an introvert, but people who are like, no, I'm going to stay in my room, dark, cold for 3 days and not come out.
That's sad.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So, like, though, seeing that on a regular, um, for me, it sparks like, okay, what can we do to help these people? What can we do to help this person? What can we do to speak to our audience in a way that it'll give them some hope? It may not fix the situation for some, it might. But like what kind of refuge can people find in a time like COVID-19 in 2020 during the holiday season?
That's a good question. Like I don't. It's tight on
Like
that.
adjusting to that new norm plus whatever other new norm you may be experiencing.
Like your mama died.
Yeah, like I've watched one young lady in particular like documented the whole process, and I didn't know, you'll have Facebook friends that you don't really even know your friends
Right.
until they
Right.
show up.
Right.
So she showed up and was, commenting and telling her story, and I was reading them and getting like really into it. And I reached out. Like I had the messenger, like detailed message, like, hey, this is a process. One day at a time, one
Right.
moment at a time, being very reflective, honoring your mom best you can, and just like really being present in this moment, feeling what you feel is okay. Offering stuff like that. And hey, if you just want to sit down and cry in my office, come on. So like when we see things like that, edit to what you're saying, like in this season where I know, even if that's not the way you want to feel, you you can end up feeling like that just because of what the season is. It's supposed to be happy and merry and ooh
Right.
and ah, but that's based around family and fellowship.
It depends on what you got going. I think, like you said, even with social media, that's a good way of checking the temperature of people because at some point they might vent. Like everybody's not like that, but I would say most people will vent on social media.
Some kind of way, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think if you see that, try to find a way to kind of reach out, even if you don't know them like you did, to kind of try to touch base with them, kind of see if you can help them in any kind of
Hmm.
way. I mean, sometimes just saying I feel you or I'm listening or whatever is enough for some people. Sometimes it's not, but sometimes it is. So just try. Y'all can do your part.
One thing I said to her, I said, what you're doing has gained you a whole family of people that you don't even know.
Right,
Her response was, but I still feel so alone.
right,
I was like, wow, that struck me, right? So then the conversation continues because at this moment, I know I can't just not let you communicate about what you're feeling
right,
because you need to have support even if it feels that you don't.
right, right.
So that just really opened me up to look at life in a different way. We had a conversation a couple of months ago just about life and living and how that goes. But then in these seasons, when people are in their feelings anyway, and they expect things to be, you start thinking about growing up as a child during the holidays.
Right,
Who was there? Typically your parents, your
right.
family. Now it's not like that. So like I can't even imagine that transition in this time.
Yeah, right, right, right.
And there's a word I came across. The word is sunder.
Hmm.
That is the profound realization that everyone around you, even strangers on the street, are living a life as complex as your own, with
Yes.
their own level of issues and their own level of everything. And we walk around just not paying attention to other people's existences because
Hmm.
we only thinking about our
Yeah,
own, and we're
facts.
thinking about maybe the
Right.
ones of people around us. I think this moment has exposed the idea that everybody is going through their own hell with this
Yeah, yeah.
to some degree, especially with COVID, especially with how many people are dying and even the ripple effects of those deaths. Just knowing that there are people in my life that have lost people, it just makes it makes us think about our own mortality. Makes us think about the mortality of our family.
Hmm.
Like when you hear about somebody that died, you stay in the house the next 2 days because you are thinking about, man, I don't want that to be me,
Right.
and it make you cancel your trips to see your family because,
Uh-huh.
man, these new statistics, I don't want to go visit my pops. It's like that's what we're experiencing right now.
Even though you kind of know, like you feel like that, hey, I'm COVID free. I would hate to be the reason that
Yeah, right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying. Like I thought I was, but then you
right,
can not have symptoms at all, and then somebody, well, yeah, the last person around was woo.
right. You kill your grandma.
You know what?
Uh,
Let me just stay away.
yeah,
Let me
right.
just zoom you and text you.
And
And it's probably people that's dealing with that too. It's probably people that have killed their loved ones. I mean, like it's somebody that is out there that
Just being real about it,
yeah,
right?
yeah, real talk. They like they had COVID or low key a sly way thought they had COVID. They went around their folks anyway.
and the
And like
mentoring
Mm-mm.
grandma got it.
yeah, the
Mm-mm.
mentoring program that I work with some Shelby County kids,
Mm-hmm.
I asked all of them, what's your fear of this? And all of them is that they are responsible for the death of one of they family members.
Wow.
And these are fifth graders.
And I don't even think adults think like
Wow.
that though. Like I don't even think adults thinking like, man, I don't want to kill my grandma. You know what I mean? That's crazy. The kids thinking that way, but adults
And
not
and
even
I
having
think
that.
because I think adults, I think we focusing on what it gonna do to us
Yeah,
when
facts.
it universally don't happen to kids like this.
Yeah,
Like kids, I think kids are aware that they don't really get symptoms, they don't really die, they don't get that much from it, in high enough numbers. So the only thing they really have to focus on
hurting somebody
is
else
what
though.
can happen to other
Yeah,
people.
facts. That's true. That's true.
Mm.
That's true.
It's heavy and it's a lot to think about. So if you're listening, hopefully we're saying something that is registering with you and that you can act on it. Like if it's just to encourage you to go get tested tomorrow, go get tested. There's some free testing sites still available. I know that the county was having conversations about funding for Legion Field. I mean, as long as it's still there, go. UAB still does testing. Of course, if you have insurance, you can go anywhere. I told y'all they lined up like crazy, like they're giving away
Yeah, American
some in
Family
America,
Care,
right? Like these different testing sites.
Doctor the Box, all
Pull
those.
up, pull up. Like that's the only place you should pull up to and still have your mask on. But pull up and be sure that you know your status. Speaking of knowing your status, on December 1st, which I think is Tuesday, is World AIDS Day. And every year for the past several years, I know for the past about 10 years, Vital has done testing on site, like on air, where we showed you like how easy it is. And even speaking about Alzheimer's earlier, we forget about other issues. Like we since COVID has been here, don't nothing else exist, but it does.
That's it.
That's it. But it does. Like there are still things happening. HIV and AIDS is still very much present. So on Tuesday in the midday groove, I'll be talking to some great people again from UAB who are going to be talking to us about the importance of knowing your status in HIV and AIDS awareness. It's important that you don't forget, no matter how old you are. Okay, so we're gonna do that. I just wanted to throw that in there now, just to give you a heads up to listen on Tuesday.
Segue.
Yeah, just because I'm thinking about like testing and not being afraid of knowing where you stand. Like I need to know that when I'm around, it's almost the same conversation. When the last time you been tested? Okay. How many people you been around? Right? How many people you been with? Same questioning, and then the same response. If I end up being around you in a way that I shouldn't be, neither of us are protected with a mask on, a hand sanitizer, or a condom, or whichever the case may be. Okay, so let me go get tested.
Right.
Same type of conversation. And the stigma even is the same. So that's why I'm just saying it right now, just so that you all can know that these conversations are still being had. Yeah, y'all. So that's where we are. Anything else? Jermaine, what you over there looking for? You see some stuff that we need to tell the people about?
No, we should be good. I think everybody's adjusted to the COVID life.
Okay.
I hope.
Well, the COVID life that you've adjusted to is going to change because it's my theory that
Mm-hmm.
when
Give
Joe
us,
Biden get
give us,
in,
give us his theory. I
when
want to hear
Joe
his theory.
Biden get in, he is going to shut this thing down.
Okay.
So get your projects together, buy your art supplies,
Mm-hmm.
buy your stuff that's going to keep you in because we're going to be in the house. I think we're going to be in the house.
I do
I
too.
think that's the responsible thing to do as a country. I think that it would have been good to have done that in March, April, to have this at Bay now. But somebody got to do it.
Yeah, and when they do it, comply and watch the numbers die. Ooh, um,
Yeah.
what I mean, like
Put
watch
it
the
on the
change.
shirt. Put it
You
on
know what
the
I'm
shirt.
saying? Comply or watch the numbers die. So comply, like wear the mask. And I think for the most part, the people that are listeners of the station, the people that we're around, the people that we come in contact with, don't have an issue with the small part of it of wearing the mask. The only part that I'm seeing that a lot of our people are having an issue with is socializing and socializing in a way that almost can defeat the purpose of wearing the mask. Like if you go somewhere and it's still like last night for the fight, which we can talk about very briefly, um, you go somewhere and people are so engaged in what they're engaged in that it's still 45 of y'all in here, and then 30 of you have on masks, but the other 15 don't, and you're comfortable. That's scary to me.
Yeah.
Did y'all watch the
Cause, cause,
exhibition
I, cause
fight?
I with my people.
Yeah, like I know them. We've been together the whole
Yeah.
COVID, and they've been around another. Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
not
Exactly.
smart. That's just not smart. Um, let's talk about it briefly, just because we haven't. We've done a lot of education tonight and a lot of clinical conversation. But Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. got in the ring for exhibition sparring match last night.
Correct.
I like boxing. Like I saw Deontay Wilder fight in person, and I was like, you know what, I want to box. At that moment, I was sold on want to
That's how you
box.
felt. Though.
That's how, I get motivated. I was like, yep, I'm about to get in shape. I want to box. What I saw last night told me that there's still hope.
Yeah, you got a chance. There's still hope.
Like it was cute, Mike Tyson.
Cute. Can't call Mike Tyson cute.
I mean, he looks so he's aged,
Yeah, you can see it.
and it made that kind of I love the elderly, and it made me feel a way about
Yeah,
Mike Tyson.
yeah.
Um, what did you think about the athleticism of it?
It was interesting, like just to
It
see
was
these guys,
interesting.
they still got it. Like this is like these dudes 50 years old, and when I
50
watched it,
plus.
when I watched it, like I was thinking, like, dang, like if I had to go out and play a half of football, like
You don't think you could?
I would like that. You know what I'm saying?
So
So
they were like,
yeah, they was really they was in
and
it.
they hugged a lot. and they were breathing like they had been in labor when they went over to the corner.
Correct.
So I'm just wondering, could you not do that? It was 2 minute rounds.
That's a lot. Like fight. Hey, you train? You train boxing?
I hadn't started yet.
Yeah, like it's next level. Like
It's
Damn.
it's a lot of very intense movements, a lot of
yeah.
expended energy with all of those blows and all the force you put into them. But their body is also made for that. Like
But
Mike
They
yeah,
got
Tyson,
old man bodies
they
now.
fit it though.
yeah.
They got old
Well,
man bodies, no
I'm saying
muscle.
Mike Tyson at his prime was like the pit bull equivalent of a world with poodles and
I
chihuahuas and
mean,
Correct.
stuff in
yeah,
it.
So think about, but they 50, they whole 50.
52 and 54,
Yeah,
right?
facts.
they
Uh,
50, but
Almost.
no, I think 51 and 54. I think it was.
they 50, but like being like they were still prime specimens for their
Yeah,
sport
fact.
at
Yeah,
that
fact,
time.
fact,
So
fact, fact.
it's like they done lost something, but they still just older versions of a
Yeah,
prime
the muscle memory
specimen.
still there.
And yeah, okay. And they did train for this. It's not like they just jumped out there yesterday and said, let's jump in the ring. I just don't see
Nate Robinson
myself.
did.
Oh boy.
So then, like, if they can do this, and he like, what's the comparison
Nate Robinson, like that was my first seeing of him, and I was so embarrassed. I felt bad for him. Like, ooh,
now? Your homeboy plays your homeboy.
yes. Like, sir, let me just fight him because you ain't. Did you not come here to fight?
Did you? Did any of y'all see all the NBA tweets?
I saw
Mm.
someone I saw on Instagram
You know,
last
because
night.
he's be in the NBA, so like they
Oh,
was
see, I don't
like,
know anything
he
about
don't
him.
This
represent us,
disassociation,
y'all.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
Facts.
yeah. So, but the person he
Wow.
fought, Jake Paul,
Hmm.
is the brother of Logan Paul, which was a popular YouTuber who who channel got disbanded because he did a very insensitive video with Suicide Forest in Japan
Oh, really?
and
Mm.
recorded somebody. So him and his brother have gotten into boxing, and all of their fights have been like just people that's popular for random different reasons.
So I had never
So
heard.
really commercial,
I had never heard of the guy. The guy you talking about, I had never heard of him
Mhm.
till last night. What's his
Yeah,
name?
man.
Jake.
Jake Paul.
Yeah, I had never heard of him till last
Logan
night.
Paul's first fight was against KSI, which I think was another popular YouTuber, maybe. But he was popular in his own right, which is why I guess promoters were like, look, these
Yeah,
people got
right.
millions
Fact.
of followers already.
Yeah,
We could just get them to start training, put them up for a fight, and we're gonna make money off
But
of
the
it.
other dude, what's his story, Eddie? Like, did he really mean to show up to the fight, or was he in the wrong place?
Nate Robinson.
Yeah, was he looking for basketball practice?
I think Nate I think Nate Robinson did not train at the level of seriousness that boxers train for.
Yeah, man, that was crazy.
Just wasn't prepared, didn't have the technique, was really tired,
And I
really
mean, like
early.
I'm looking at the punches. It was almost like, and he was falling out. Y'all go back and watch it. Okay, you just gotta watch it to know what happened. If you need to see it, I'll
yes,
send it to you.
it's actually on my page right now. My Facebook
Go
page.
to your main Facebook page
It
right
ain't
now.
long. It ain't long.
No, it ain't
So
long. It's about 3 minutes.
I
Usually
didn't
straight.
share. Yeah, I didn't share that one, but I did share the main fight, which was cool. Like I was just really, that was just a good watch for the culture. It was a great moment for people to
Yeah, that's
actually,
good. It
you
was
know what I'm
solid. It was
saying?
solid. It was a solid experience.
and it
That's
was a
what that
whole.
was.
I mean, it was a whole marketing thing too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I mean, Tyson had got on doing interviews at places, and he got into some confrontation with T.K. Kirkland, a comedian, and it's comedians out here making like this turned into a whole marketing campaign. Like this fight might have been for charity mostly,
Yeah,
but like it feels like it might be a setup for like where money
some
coming in the
more
future.
and some
but
Yeah.
more of these exhibition
but
fights.
the level of stuff that we see on TV in 2020 is like crazy. Like we saw like Snoop on TV cussing, like they on the talk about like weed maps. Like
What?
He was smoking
Yes.
weed during his
life
performance, right?
like life is next
Yeah.
level now in 2020.
Hmm.
Like it's kind of
Even though
amazing what
you
you
had
see.
to pay to see it, like it was
It's there. It
still
was there to be
it was
seen
out
now.
there,
Yeah,
right? So then the Iron Bowl, Coach Saban didn't even have to coach, and Alabama beat Auburn. Like they didn't know what they were going to do.
nah,
What is going on?
they
Y'all
look.
just show up to stuff and just show up.
That was came for fun.
I'm gonna just show up somewhere and be like, "So I'm here. What we doing?
Exhibition. What we gonna do?
how much? How much is here?" So, what do y'all think about that? Coach Saban tested positive for COVID. He said he was the only person in the organization that tested positive. He could not communicate with the players or the coaches yesterday.
I wonder what happened this time that didn't happen last time when he supposed to have it.
Hmm.
I'm just curious.
They say the test. So, like their rapid test is very inaccurate. True story, because I felt the same way. Had the rapid test the first day, and then had the real deal test the next day. Had COVID. I mean, you should have picked it up yesterday. Rapid
Right,
test.
facts, right,
Okay. So he said it was a different type of test, but he doesn't know where he got it from.
right.
Either way, his team really won. So what? Any thoughts about that? I don't really care. Like I went to Alabama State
Yeah, like
University
I
and
like
Miles
I
College,
yeah.
University of Montebello, no football team there. So what we talking about?
I mean, the way Nick Saban has put teams together traditionally have a foundation of people that are generally leaders anyway. They
We don't
probably
need
need
any
very little
coaches.
coaching
Okay.
in order to get that result once that foundation is set. And that's what good coaches do. I
Hmm.
mean, good coaches collaborate with their team
Yeah,
instead of direct them a lot of
yeah.
times,
Create a culture. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you create that, like Jermaine said, you create that culture,
We're
then
winners.
people are going to sit in that culture whether the leadership is there or not.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
facts.
shouts out to Pleasant Grove
Yeah, yeah.
and Daryl LeBeau. That's my schoolmate.
Good job, Bo.
Great job, and Kevin and all the players. I wouldn't. I'm not gonna call the players names, but there are some very special guys on the team that we know. So shouts out to all of them. Big shouts out to Thompson. Got some guys on that team that all of them are going to Tuscaloosa this week. So shouts out to all of you for your athleticism and for withstanding the football season through COVID.
Good job, Ramsey. City
Oh
schools.
yeah,
We
yeah, yeah.
support.
They played.
Yeah,
That's good. That's what's
y'all didn't
up.
win, but we support y'all.
Yeah, they put on for the city.
Yeah, absolutely.
So great. There's some great things happening. Wonderful things are still happening. COVID has not is not the end all be all. Life is still happening. So continue to live. Be mindful of every moment. If you need Vital, find us on social media. Send a message. When you see us, share us. Don't just sit on us. Share us. We're gonna get Jermaine on some pictures soon. All right.
Yeah, appreciate
Okay. Y'all have an awesome night. Great week. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. right here on V94.9 WATV in Lady Wu's Midday Groove. Good night. Be vital.